Councilmember Wachtel.
Well, I'm going to talk about reality. There is no question that this issue is highly emotional and will significantly impact the tenants and the subtenants of the SeaTac Center. What has not been said and is often misunderstood is that the situation is part of a plan that began in 2006 and was moved forward by multiple councils and moved forward with expense to the city in form of planning, purchase, and road work over the years. This situation did not just happen. The background. In December of 2006, the South 154th Street Station Area Action Plan was published. The document set forth SeaTac's commitment to developing the Tukwila Light Rail Station area as the best use function of the property. The city is obligated to act on this plan. The city purchased the property under Ordinance number 09-1043 on December 29, 2009. The property cost the city approximately $12 million. That ordinance indicates the purpose of the purchase was to redevelop that property. Sometime after the sale of the property, the owner sued the city for an illegal taking, and as you may know, that litigation lasted until 2017. In 2017, the city settled the suit for a total of $12 million, of which the city paid $4 million, and the insurance companies made up the difference. Whoops. Conservatively speaking, the city has the original $12 million in the purchase price and $4 million paid in settlement, invested in this property for a total of $16 million. That does not include the improvements made to the area. The city also received approximately $600,000 positive cash flow per year from the property rental. The SeaTac Center is an old building, built in 1954 and now more than 60 years old. The city has been forced to make repairs to the structure, which have escalated over the past couple of years. Prior councils authorized lessees to utilize the property under the belief that obtaining some rental income was better than no rental income. In 2013, while Mia Gregerson was mayor of the city, paragraph 9 was added to the lease indicating that the city would be seeking to sell the property for redevelopment and that the tenants would be provided with a minimum of 9 months' notice to leave the building. One of the major issues is the fact that the city has only 11 actual tenants, and the rest of the small businesses, which are owned by members of the Somali community, are subtenants, which have no contract or business relationship with the city. Part of the reason that this matter has become so volatile is that it alleged that the tenants who rent from the city never advised their subtenants that the city would be selling the property in the future for redevelopment. The city has tried to find a path to work with the subtenants. However, they have decided to handle this in a politically charged manner, claiming that they are being targeted and ignored. Nothing could be farther from the truth. A city moves very slowly, especially on projects like this. As you can see by both the 2006 station area plan and the December 29th ordinance, the property was purchased with the concept to redevelop the building area. Also, the lease signed with the 11 true tenants indicates that the city intended to sell the property. The subtenants continue to assert that they have earned the right to stay in the building even though they have no lease with the city. The subtenants have submitted a proposal offering $1 million and proposing $3 million additional in a yet unidentified financing for a part of the entire property. This plan would not work because it would undermine the market value of the property, sort of like eating the center of a cake and trying to sell off the rest. Potentially costing the taxpayers millions of dollars in unrecovered costs. Also, the subtenants demand that upon the selling of the building, they must not be forced to leave the property and that a developer must be required to build in phases so that they can be moved from one phase to another and remain in business during construction. Such a plan would not be acceptable to any developer because the increased cost of the project in that manner could make the project unprofitable. Also under the subtenant's offer, they indicate they would like to set the price for their part of the building in the area of $4 million, but one, have no promise of credit, and two, haven't set forth a fixed price. The submission of the RFP is unprofessional, incomplete, and does not conform with the conditions of the RFP. They believe their value alone to SeaTac makes up the enormous discount and considerations they are seeking. As a councilman, I take very seriously the fact I represent all 29,000 residents of the city. I consider that due to the extreme lack of developable land in the city, that this is unquestionably one of the most important available tracts of land in SeaTac, and it will play an important part in changing the city's development. The RFP submission from Inland proposes a mixed-use residential project of 600 units. Consider that if the average annual income for each apartment was estimated to be $45,000, the total annual income of the buildings would be $27 million. This additional income would benefit the businesses in SeaTac and all surrounding cities. Finally, this project would put that property back on the tax rolls, which is a big win for the residents. This is a very difficult decision to be involved in because I do understand that the members of our community face displacement, and my heart goes out to them. However, they are making impossible demands and asking for consideration that, in my opinion, the city legally is not able to offer. However, authorizing the city manager to enter negotiation does not effectively close the door on the disposition of the property. Rather, it is a first step that must eventually be taken. In my opinion, because a plan has been in operation for 9 years, we need to consider the prior investment in the plan and its goal. Therefore, my assessment of this matter is simple. The SeaTac Coalition has submitted a non-conforming RFP. They did not set a price. They only want a piece of the property and do not have commitments for financing. That is not reasonable. Only one other RFP was received from Inland, a construction company with a successful history of mixed building use housing, and with the finances and credit to purchase and build this project, and with an organization to properly manage and deliver the proposed construction. 3, the city is in great need of housing near the light rail station to infuse new residents into the community, to balance out our median income, and to drive further local business development within the city. The city also has an obligation under the 2006 Stationary Action Plan to develop the property. 4, the city has a responsibility to recover as much of the purchase cost, attorney's fees, and settlement costs it can from the sale of this property. By doing so, those recovered resources become available for the betterment of the lives of all 29,000 city residents. In closing, I can see no other path but then vote my conscience. I see no reason not to initiate negotiation with Inland for development of the property. The size of the numbers demand that the council have the strength and fortitude to make the right choice. The recovery of $15 million spent on a project that started 9 years ago, the creation of 600 apartments to bring new residents into the city, the redevelopment of a building that is 64 years old and is prime for redevelopment, and honoring of the commitment to develop the 154th Street station area. This project will create a whole new neighborhood within the city. It will be the start of a future of mixed-use development to enhance the life of our residents. It is the future, and the city needs to embrace it. Thank you.